Melinda, hello.
Hello, Betsy.
This is Jamie Platt.
Hi.
I'd like to have a moment alone with you if I can. I was, kind of confused by what I saw downstairs when I just came in now, and I'd like to talk to you alone.
Sure. Look, Bets, I'll be waiting for you downstairs, okay?
All right, Jamie, do me a favor. Please tell everyone down there to leave now.
Sure.
Lois and I have got to get back to our house before Mom gets home.
Look, I don't want to blame anybody for anything. But I have to ask you, do your grandparents know that this party is going on?
No.
And I gather Lois's mother doesn't either.
No.
Your grandmother thinks you're over at Lois's house?
Yes. Studying.
Well, I don't know how she'd take it if she knew. Especially the beer drinking. The living room reeks of it the moment you open the door.
Melinda, why did you come over here tonight anyway?
Your mother asked me to stop by sometime today to water the plants. Maybe it's a good thing I decided to come now. Then again, maybe it isn't. Betsy, what am I going to tell Kim when she comes back?
Please don't say anything to her. Nothing at all. It'd be awful if you do. Kim would never trust me again. It'd be over. All over.
What would be all over?
All the wonderful things that have been happening to me. Melinda, you won't say anything, will you? Please?
Answer me. What are you doing here?
I didn't know you were in your room.
Well, you still haven't told me what you want.
I wanted to see if the entrance to this secret stairway was open in the cellar. It was, just a crack. And that's how that horrid cat has been getting from one part of the house to another. Well, you're going to be alone here when I go out to dinner, and I don't want another fright like I had earlier.
I've ordered you never to use that passageway again. You defied me.
This is the first time I've used it since you ordered me not to.
I hope I can believe that.
Bennett, why does it bother you so much?
Because it's another terrible reminder of Ruth and the night she...
You should have it nailed up. And you should have that old hamper burned, too.
I can't do that.
Why not?
Because it's the only thing I have left of her here. I need those reminders so that no other woman will ever hurt me that way again.
You know, I remember when my dad died. Nothing made sense to me. Nothing in the world. I didn't care about anything. I didn't want to do anything. And I know that Kim and my grandmother and grandfather, they were all worried about me. But I didn't want them to worry. But even so, I still couldn't pull myself out of it. And do something interesting, find something interesting to do.
Oh, Betsy, honey, that's a really normal reaction. But you've gotten past that all now.
But do you know how I got past it? I met Lois. It was so lucky of me because she wanted to be my friend. She opened up a whole new world for me. Something that I guess I always wanted to be a part of, but I just didn't know how. Oh, maybe you can't understand it because you've probably always been popular. But do you know what it feels like to be an outsider, always looking in?
Oh, I understand how that feels.
But I don't want to be an outsider again.
Betsy, I know that feeling too. But I do see a lot of things now that I never saw when I was your age. Oh, it's nice to be accepted by the in crowd, to be part of it. Betsy, it isn't worth hurting the people who are really important to you in your life.
Like Kim?
It isn't worth getting the wrong kind of reputation either. That's something you can never live down for the rest of your life.
But nothing went wrong here tonight. I mean, it didn't. I know what you probably thought when you walked in and saw me and Jamie
Well,
together.
I just saw what I saw.
The reason we came up here was because there was 2 kids up here for a long time, and I thought I should tell them to go back downstairs with everyone else.
Oh, Betsy, I wish I knew the right words to tell you how I feel right now. Honey, I don't want you to join the wrong kind of crowd.
But I'm not. Jamie is a very nice boy. He made me feel special.
But you are special.
I never felt like that before.
I'm trying to tell you, you don't need someone else to make you feel special.
All I know is I was lonely. I was sad. But then I didn't feel like that anymore. Melinda, promise me you won't say anything to Kim. And I will tell her when the right time comes along. Honest, I will.
I can't promise that. I have to have time to think about it. But Betsy, I can tell you one thing from my own experience. One lie leads to another. And suddenly lying becomes a part of your life. It's not something that you plan either. It just creeps up on you.
Betsy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's 9 o'clock.
Oh, I guess I lost track of the time.
Well, I didn't. I got worried, so I called my mother.
What'd she say?
Well, that I told her that I was staying with your grandmother and studying, and that I'd be home as soon as I can.
What about the other kids?
They split, but they told me to tell you they had a nice time.
I'll be down in a few minutes.
Betsy, that proves just what I was saying. Is feeling part of the crowd worth all the lies?
I hope you're not going to get Betsy in trouble. I mean, by saying anything about this little party we had.
Well, that's up to Melinda. She's Mrs. Stewart's niece. She may feel she has to tell her.
Sure, but I bet you have some influence with Melinda, huh? You're the kind of man a woman would listen to. I know I would.
I better finish picking up this broken glass.
Oh, you cut yourself, poor baby. Oh.
It's all right. It's all
No,
right.
it isn't. Let me get you a Band-Aid.
Well, that might not be a bad idea.
Here, I'll give you a hand. Oh, my, you are strong. I bet you lift weights, huh? A lot of guys do these days.
Kim's cut glass pitcher broke. Oh my God, it's one of her favorites. What am I going to tell her?
Why didn't you tell me that before?
I couldn't.
I thought you trusted me after all the years I've known you and your family.
I do trust you. And I would have told you right away that Martin was a patient at Moorcliff Sanitarium, but I didn't want Bennett to know. Well, I couldn't let him know. Not after all the trouble that Martin caused with Ruth.
Must have been very difficult keeping it all to yourself.
It was part of all the horror that led to my breakdown.
I still can't understand all that's happened. You've been telling me that Ruth ran away with Martin and then deserted him.
A short time after they left. Ruth was obviously using Martin to get away from her life here at the Willows and Bennett. She hated it here always.
You never really know people, do you? I always knew that Ruth was very romantic and even impulsive. But I never suspected her of being so calculating and cruel.
She was. Martin didn't realize it either. He gave up everything so that they could go away together. You can imagine what it did to him when he found her with another man. It was too much for him.
How soon after they left the Willows did that happen?
Only a few days. He called me. He sounded so hysterical he could barely tell me where he was.
Did you go to him immediately?
Yes, I did. But when I got there, he didn't even know me. The first doctor I took him to said that he was in a state of shock and that he would come out of it, but he didn't.
And so then you took him to Moorcliffe Sanitarium.
Well, I'd read something about Dr. Karanovsky. I remembered that he'd done a lot of work with patients suffering severe emotional shock. So I drove Martin up there. I felt it was far enough removed from the world. I felt that he would be safe there.
Safe from what?
From Bennett. Well, I never told you this before, but I feel that I have to now. In those awful days when Martin and Ruth ran away, Bennett used to vow that he would find them both and kill them.
That's just what people say when they've been terribly hurt, when they're so angry they don't even know what they're saying.
You're wrong. He would have killed them if he had found them.
Hester. You don't believe that. I don't believe it either.
Yes, I do. Bennett's jealousy makes him lose all reason. He's trying very hard to convince Lisa that he's overcome that jealousy that drives him. But I know he hasn't. He's even jealous of her friend, Mrs. Stewart, who's visiting her now.
Why would he be jealous of her?
Because she's very close to Lisa. Because they talk together, and he's afraid they may have secrets.
Would that matter?
Don't you remember how jealous he was of your nephew?
Yes. Yes, I do.
He felt the same sort of thing about Martin. And now,
You seem terribly worried, Hester.
well, it's just that everything reminds me of those terrifying days and nights a few years ago when Bennett first suspected Ruth of being unfaithful.
What happened at that time?
He locked her in a room a number of times, and he gave me strict orders not to let her out. And he bought a gun, too. I found it in his drawer.
A gun?
Yes. I took it. And I put it away with some other things in a secret hiding place. Things that no one must ever see unless he...
Unless what?
Hester?
Yes?
I saw Dr. Bickford's car outside.
Don't mention any of this to him, please. Yes, Bennett. He's in the sitting room here with me.
Well, I'm afraid it's time for me to get back on the job, much as I hate to.
You tired?
I was until I heard Herbie was thinking about me as the hostess for that restaurant.
Yeah, I think that's great, Sheila. I hope it works out for you.
I know it will. Everything has since I have you as my good luck charm.
Hello, Sheila. Tom, I didn't expect to see you again tonight.
Oh, I didn't either. Hello, Dana. Barbara?
Hi, Tom. Nice to see you again, Tom.
Could I show you a table?
Thank you.
Barbara?
Yeah?
Maybe I owe you an explanation.
No, you don't owe me an explanation. If the situation were reversed, I wouldn't think that I owed you one. Remember what I said? No commitments.
But I'd still like to talk things through.
Fine, but I don't think this is the time or the place.
No. I'll call you tomorrow.
Fine.
We're not serving dinner this late, you know.
Oh, that's all right. I just want something light anyway.
Me too.
Your friend Melinda was in earlier this evening.
Was she?
Yes, we had a very nice talk.
Excuse me, I'll just have a cup of coffee and I want to make a phone call, check my service. You want to join us?
Oh, thanks, Dad, but I don't think so.
You leaving?
No, but I think that'd be a little bit awkward.
Look, I'm sorry. If I thought you were going to be here, I would have suggested another place.
Oh, how could you know? I was just driving home and I suddenly got the idea to stop by and say hello to Sheila. Maybe it's a good thing. It might help Barbara and me face up to something we've been avoiding.
I'll talk to you tomorrow. I want to check on a patient.
Going over to the bookstore to work tomorrow afternoon, Betsy?
I expect to, but it depends on Jamie's plans.
Oh, Jamie's becoming quite important in your life these days, isn't he?
I'd like to think so.
Oh, Betsy. Oh, I'm so glad you're beginning to enjoy these years. They're so special. They never come again. If Kim's plane comes, not too late tomorrow night, you can drive out to the airport to meet her, okay? With us. You two grown up to be tucked in. Good. Good night, honey. Sleep tight. See you in the morning.
Why don't you come sit with me? Maybe that'll calm you down. Hey, a smile. You don't know how much more sexy that makes you look.
I'm sorry if I've been kind of a drag. It's just that...
It's more like it. You and I are going to get along just fine. I like your room, too. It's pretty cool.
Thanks. Lois helped me put up a few posters and things.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess we better be getting downstairs.
What's your hurry?
It's getting late, and in a few minutes everyone has to leave.
Well, in that case, why don't you just give me a couple minutes so that I can really show my appreciation? You know, Betsy, you did a fabulous job of putting this party together, you know?
You must have been terribly hungry.
I was.
Why didn't you tell me? I would have fixed you something.
Oh, no, I enjoyed raiding the refrigerator, just like Annie and I used to do when we were kids. Before we were diet conscious, that is.
Now, didn't you have any dinner? If you're going to work such long hours, you ought to at least...
I thought about it when I was fixing Ian something to eat, but I really wasn't hungry at that time. After that, the evening got so exciting that I forgot about eating. But don't worry about it, Mom. I'm making up for it now.
Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying your work so much.
Sometimes I have to pinch myself to make sure I'm not dreaming.
Is it that interesting all of the time?
I've been doing odds and ends and, you know, ordinary secretarial work is different when it's for someone like Ian. Oh, and that's not all I do. He asks my opinion about everything.
Well, that must be very flattering.
It sure is. And you know what? He's given me free rein to reorganize his apartment.
Oh, my goodness, that's a job in itself.
Yeah, but I love every minute of it. I put in 3 hours at the law office today. They just dragged by. I couldn't wait to get to Ian's apartment.
I wonder if it's the work you're doing that you enjoy or being around such a famous personality.
Well, haven't thought about it. Both, maybe.
You know, Kim is going to fly back tomorrow night. I'm hoping the next evening we'll have the whole family over for dinner.
Well, that's nice, but you better not count on me, Mom.
Are you going to work late like this every night?
Well, probably not. But if Ian needs me, I want to be there. I'm going to get another half a sandwich. Can I get you something?
No, thank you, dear.
Okay.
I thought I heard someone prowling around down here.
I wasn't prowling. I was just clearing up.
What was Dr. Bickford doing here?
He came by for a visit.
Anything special?
I think he just wanted somebody to talk to. He doesn't say much about his nephew's death, but I can tell he's still very upset by it. I hope we won't be having many more visitors from Oakdale up before the wedding. Do you know if any are
I
planning?
don't know. Something I've been thinking about, Hester. I've decided you should take a long vacation.
No.
Just until Lisa and I get married.
I am not going away.
You told me you're very tired and very nervous. You need some time off.
I need some time off, I'll ask for it.
You're not the one to decide.
Bennett, if you try and force me into taking a vacation, I'll...
Finish that sentence. You're what? Well?
Nothing.
You were going to say you'd tell Lisa something. Something that would frighten her away for good.
Bennett, don't look at me like that. That look terrifies me.
I know that you've lied to me all these months about Martin. What else have you lied to me about?
You have to understand why I didn't tell you about Martin.
The only thing I understand about him is that you lied to me.
Everything else I said is true. That's why I've asked you to get Lisa away from here before it's too late. I know you hear those sounds in the night, Bennett. The same sounds I hear, and Lisa. Mrs. Stewart mentioned them this morning, too, at breakfast. Those sounds are crying out to you, Bennett. They're warnings to get this woman away from here because she's so much like Ruth. Get her away before it's too...